Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'm really interested in the idea of sales as a discipline. You know, sales has always taken a beating, in terms of how people have perceived it. And you got all kinds of stereotypes, be it watching Saturday Night Live and their shady characters or whatever. And the reality is that I personally believe that progress itself from a business perspective happens because of people in the sales arena. You know, they're the ones who are tactically saying what needs to improve, in a way that engineers and customer service people simply don't get. And I love the idea. The reality is if you're married, if you are, if you even have a job, no matter how much you think you hate selling, you have used sales techniques to get wherever you are in life. And so I love programs that help people improve that ability. And Baylor University does just that. And Andrea Dixon, who's a PhD, is with the Center for Professional Selling there at Baylor. And we're delighted to have you on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. And how long have you been, first of all, how long has the program existed, the center?
It's kind of fun. Baylor was actually the first university to operate officially in the professional selling space, and they launched their Center for Professional Selling in 1985. Since that
Wow, that was way before such an idea was even cool.
Well, that's for sure. And they've had a tremendous impact on the way that this profession has continued to grow and create an impact for students and for industry on the academic front.
Very good. And a little bit about your background, your academic background?
Sure. Actually, I started out working out of undergrad with a marketing degree, working in an advertising agency and in marketing research, basically in a sales role. But back in the day when I graduated, there were not sales programs or sales degrees. And so I did the best that I could in that context. And my interest has always been in how we create more value and working across companies. And so when I pursued the PhD, that was the area of emphasis for my research. And so I joined Baylor in 2009 and have had the opportunity of helping to kind of take the program to the next level.
Right. And you got your PhD at Indiana University. Where did you do your undergraduate?
Actually did an MBA at Boston University and did an undergraduate at Kent State University.
Kent State?
And spent time a little over a decade at the University of Cincinnati. So this is my first opportunity working in a private university. So.
Yeah, in the great state of Texas. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Where it's 20 degrees today.
Well, yeah, but you're going to have a lot fewer of those there than you are in Ohio or Indiana. I guarantee you that. You should come in a little more south. Houston's awesome. But let me ask you about, although we're kind of chilly today here ourselves, tell me a little bit about the school itself. First of all, how many participants do you have in the program?
Well, we operate with what we call a differentiated model. So students are selected, obviously, to get into Baylor, and then they're selected into the Hankamer School of Business, and then there's a selectivity ratio on top of that for our program. So we don't run an open enrollment program, which puts us in a little bit different place than other universities who do operate with an open enrollment model for their sales area. And so our students have to be above a 3.0 to even get into the program. And in addition to that, they have to have some demonstrated activities in the area of leadership and engagement with others. And so they go through a pretty rigorous selection process. They have to apply. They have to interview 3 students in the program to get in. They have to have 3 references to get in. They have to watch the PBS video on the science of selling and then write an essay about what that means for them today, which really creates a connection to the lead-in that you provided, where sales is a profession today. It's not the stereotype. It's not the thought process that people think are holding on to from 15, 20 years ago. And let me give you a quick story, if I may.
Yeah, right ahead.
We have a company that recruits out of here that when they initially recruited our students, the students were starting in an $8 million starter territories, and this is a Fortune 100 company. About a year and a half ago, they took one of our students who had been with them for about a year, so an alumni out for about a year, and they moved that individual into a position to run $35 million worth of business, and he was the number 1 salesperson in the country for them. We have a student who just graduated in May working for that same company, and within 6 months, he's running $63 million worth of business. that's larger than most executives will run in the course of their careers.
Sure. Let me ask you, in terms of your intern program, that was one of the reasons. First of all, now there's a lot of schools that offer your type of training, which I think is awesome. University of Houston's very well known here in our area. But what I was most impressed was the emphasis that you had on an internship program. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We require our students to actually have a paid sales internship, and we actually work and guarantee their placement both for the internship and for job positions. And we're able to do that because, once again, we operate with a different model where every student in the program is actually mapped through a fairly intensive developmental experience. So they have the education, we have the curriculum that takes place in the classroom, but what makes Baylor's program unique is we actually have a full-blown program that wraps around and ensures that the student gets development. So my analogy is I could take them in the classroom just as Art Briles takes them in the locker room and show them the plays and have them do drills, but they're really not a football player. They're really not a professional salesperson until they're face-to-face on the line or face-to-face in the customer's office. And so we ensure each of our students gets that kind of development through both a system of internal sales competitions and also supporting students across the U.S. in 10 external sales competitions. And so that development coupled with a required internship means that when our students graduated, most of them at age 22, our corporations say they're equivalent to someone 3 years out.
Yeah, very interesting. How many hours does it take to get your certificate?
It's actually a major, and it's a 19-hour major.
It's a bachelor's?
Yes, it is. It's a bachelor's degree in business with a major in professional selling.
So it's a BBA business with a, wow, that's interesting. How many schools do that?
You know, it's a smaller group than you'd think, but there's more universities operating in this space in general. So there's about 100 universities that are operating in the sales space with some type of certificate or a course or two. We're in the handful that actually have a major, so it's probably somewhere around 30 schools that have a major.
Andrea Dixon, thanks so much for being with us. She is with Baylor University. You can go to baylor.edu and just look up Andrea Dixon there, and you'll find her and learn more about her great program. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time.
When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.